Hello to anybody watching this. My name is Michael, and I'm currently studying to get my bachelor's degree in game design. And I actually graduate in about 5 months. Yay! My reason for making a video like this is to document my time up until I graduate. And I've been wanting to do something like this for a while, but I've never gotten around to doing it, so it's better late than never. So, on top of graduating and finishing my final project, my goal over the next few months is going to be to go back through my classes and really think about where I started versus where I am today. And I'm not sure if it's a better idea to do this, after I graduate, but I kind of just want to start thinking about this stuff now. So, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Maybe, maybe not. We'll see. So starting with this video, I'll be talking about the current class that I'm taking, which is called prototyping. And I'll also be talking about milestone 1 for our current project. The point of this class is to form a team with other game design students and work together to rebuild a reference game. I'm currently on a team with 5 other people, and the team name we chose is Team Misconception, and I think that sounds really cool. Honestly, it just works, it just fits. So Team Misconception, the game we chose was Dark Souls 3. So the easiest thing probably would be to choose an old platforming game like Crash Bandicoot or Mario. But for me, I've actually never really gotten into those games. Like, those just aren't my kind of games. And I wanted to put together something not necessarily more difficult, but something you wouldn't expect to see. Majority of the team, we actually played Dark Souls 3, so it wasn't completely out of the running to pick for a reference game. But overall, I wanted to make sure that everybody suggested their favorite games or games that they were currently playing, so we could see if any of those were doable for our reference prototype, and Dark Souls 3 just so happened to be the winner. At first, my understanding of this assignment was that we had a deadline to get things done, which lit a fire in the team to get a lot done quickly. The 2 main things I worked on were getting the project up and running as soon as possible, so that we could get into the project and start getting a feel for how we wanted to flesh out our tasks. The first thing I worked on was the avatar. The user story for that was, as an avatar, I want to exist so that I can play my created character in the game world. For this, I created a capsule for the player, and I called him Dude. The second thing was the movement. The user story for that was, as the player, I want to travel in the game world so that I can explore and find things to do. For this, I added a movement script that I previously learned from a Brachy's tutorial. Some things did get scrapped, like the climb mechanic assigned to me. It got scrapped because it didn't seem like something to focus on for just getting a working game loop. And so this is what we finally got for milestone 1. Essentially, we just wanted to be able to get into the game, move around, have an enemy, and have some testing features and stuff. We wanted to get a dash, but we weren't able to implement that fully into our week 1 sprint. But we did manage to get in, have an attack animation, and we have the enemy able to follow the player. So that's all good stuff. And yeah, we didn't have damaging in yet, but during this build, we also got the health and regaining the health, and we also had a "you died" screen, which reset the scene. So wonderful stuff there. Again, I just mainly wanted to get the project up and running so that we can do it. My movement stuff did get scrapped for a better movement screen, or with like Cinemachine and third-person movement, where you can, like in Dark Souls, you can walk around without the camera having to follow you. But I did have my hand in helping a lot with the health and the nav agent as well. So overall, really happy with what turned out for the first sprint, we call those. And I did also want to add that we had a little bit more in there. If we start up the game, we have a quick little splash screen which shows our team name. It has been updated, so it shows it a little bit longer, but we had it in there for milestone 1. For the options, we have functional sound, not quite functional, but we have the sliders, which is good. Working buttons, we have credits here, which did have a bug, which brings you back to the game instead of back to the main menu. But here also in the game we had collectibles, which are now going to be souls whenever you collect them. And also we have the menu, which brings up options so you can go back to the menu or so you can quit the game. And both of those functions work. So with all of that, we have a functioning gameplay loop, which is one of the most important things that I think we needed for Milestone 1. So again, I'm really proud of what we had for Milestone 1, and I'm proud for what we have going for us so far. So from day one, I was super excited to get together and start working on an actual game. So I've been trying to step up and keep things organized and structured. But as it turns out, I kind of suck at those things, and it's actually really hard. I made a team page so we can all have our availability and information on it. That way we can plan meetings properly and even set up an agenda for things to work on and focus on. But I feel like if I try to enforce things like we should do this, or we should do this, or we shouldn't do this, and we should do this, I feel like I might come off as like annoying or pushy. So as I've noticed, I've kind of just been going with the flow, and that's been working in its own way. The team's up to date on things that, we need to get done, and everything's looking good. I just think that, it could be a little bit more structured and organized, but yeah, that's kind of difficult to do. That being said, I do like the challenge of thinking about trying to do things like that, and using the tools that the school has taught us, like Confluence and Jira. I think it's manageable, it's doable, it's just something that I'd have to focus on, like, solely on doing, if anything. I will say that issues are always a thing, and the biggest issue we have is with Perforce and how we all use it. I think for the most part, I understand what we've been taught, and I feel like I could use Perforce without any issues myself, but when it comes to explaining things and concepts, I'm not really all that good at that. I think that basically just comes down to my communication skills, though. Like, if I'm working by myself, I'm able to take my time and figure things out as I need to, but if I'm working with someone else, I feel a sense of added pressure to be right about things all the time, and when I'm wrong or when I don't know the answer, I feel like I just kind of shut down and I just don't know what to do. I don't like that feeling, but it happens. And it's also not just Perforce, it's also Unity as well. I've come to realize that I'm not the best at coding and scripting, but it is something that I can do to a certain extent. Like, I understand a lot of things, but I just get so lost sometimes. Like, when it comes to all of these tutorials and all these documentations, I just get lost in there somewhere. And also, not to mention, I think Unity's just being a jerk sometimes. Like, sometimes the logic will make perfect sense, and then when you try to implement it into Unity, like, it's just not having it for whatever reason. So that kind of sucks. But I mean, overall, we've been using Unity. Unity's it has its issues, but we're working it out, and what we've got, I think, is really good. It also makes me think how the project would go if we used the Unreal Engine, which is another game engine for making video games. But we were taught mainly with Unity and C Sharp for majority of our program. They taught us a little bit of Unreal, but it was kind of, I don't want to say it was out of the blue, but it was like a hard jump to the Unreal Engine, and it was basically just, hey, here's how you use Unreal, and here's some terms and stuff here that are different than over in Unity. But I don't know, it was just a different teaching method, and it was just weird. And I guess I'll talk about that more when I make a video on Programming Foundations number 2. But I'll save that for another video. We're focusing on prototyping in this video, and I guess the next video I make when I talk about Milestone 2. But overall, I just wanted to make this video to start off my developer log, maybe my log, I don't know, of stuff. And yeah, milestone 1 for this class is good. I'll be sure to update on milestone 2, which ends here in a few days, couple days. We actually have a lot that we improved on from milestone 1, and a couple of things that we're trying to add before it gets finished up. But yeah, it's gonna be cool. It's gonna be good. All right, and to properly wrap up this video, if anybody is watching this, I hope that you find at least something useful when thinking about Full Sail, or trying to see how somebody learns from the classes, I guess. And for me, I think this is a really good self-reflection kind of thing, a good reflection video for myself. So if I come back to watching this, I hope I'm doing good. I hope that I'm up there in the game industry, name on not billboards, but name on the credits and everything where it needs to be, blah 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 blah. Keep up the good work, and yeah.